Wi-Fi together, baby. Here we go again. Yes. Relax. Hold.
Hey, sugar free.
What's up?
If she's standing outside, does that make her outstanding?
I heard it was big, but that sounds ridiculous.
Oh, I was just saying. What's good, y'all? Listen, Shannon, you out of control. Shannon, you need Shannon, chill. I'm going to need you to stop. Shannon going viral. Shannon Sharp is going viral over and over again. We have not one. We have two Shannon Sharp clips to get into this week. Oh goodness, this nigga's write me shit in Spanish. I'll read it later. You know what? I will deal with it later. This nigga write me shit in Spanish, huh? We're gonna figure out later. I'm talking about my super. Anyway, so we have not one, but we have two clips to get into from the Shannon Sharp show. So we got one from the game and one from Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Well, so-called Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. It's very interesting predicament we have going on here. So yesterday I was breaking down this the whole fallacy. I mean, because we can't just let. I thought the internet has created a space where women kind of feel like they can just spin whatever narrative, and they can spin that narrative unchallenged. For the most part, especially with black men. Black men, for the most part, the way a black man, especially when I be observing black men interacting with women, I be feeling like, not that you have to argue or give a bunch of pushback, but black men will not really challenge certain things that women will say that maybe should be challenged, or they'll allow them to kind of spin them narratives and whatnot, right? So and that's what you kind of see going on in this interview where Shannon Sharp is like not, and again, this is something that Angry Man was pointing out, that he's not really interviewing her. He's kind of just letting her kind of ramble and just kind of like world do like world building thing, because women do this thing where they like actually do world building, right? Where and women are not careful. Like I always say, men have to be careful not to overmanage, right? And women gotta be careful to not overimagine, because women will do world building where they'll start adding details, seeing things that aren't there. You start making shit up, and you just then you wind up just losing everything. You feel me? But I don't want you to lose everything. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into a claim that the game made, right? And I thought it's a really interesting space to be in as far as hip hop, where the game is going viral for saying that he's the best rapper in Compton. And the fact that the game is actually he's getting backlash for this. So we're gonna be getting into why he's getting backlash. But first and foremost, we're gonna play some more clips from Cheyenne Bryant, right? And again, the reason why I'm speaking on these narratives is because we have to really, because again, we gotta help these women. We gotta save these women, and we cannot allow them to live in delusion, because how can they self-correct without, the proper information, right? And I want to get into what's actually going on in the real world and everything. So we have a squatter situation, and I want to always bring y'all back to the reality of what's going on here. No matter how y'all think the world has changed, at the end of the day, y'all really need a man. You may have ways of surviving without men, but y'all really need a man. Like without a man, y'all get into all types of shenanigans and hijinks. All right, but anyway, you know how we do here, man. We don't just jump into the show, man. We don't just shove it in there. We always play a few tunes. You feel me? And yeah, man. Let's go ahead and see what we're gonna start with, man. Let's go ahead and let's have a little fun. Let's kind of warm it up. You know what I mean? You understand? Let's get it. We'll see what we got here, man. Let's do one of the old joints real quick, man. What's up, man? See what we got here. Let's matter of fact, let's go here. Main thing, I've been stressed out. Villain errors and demon signs and storylines get fleshed out. Yo, holding grudges like a bird when I chirp. Shorty chirp bad. Ran off on the plug, now you can't get your It was cold outside, now it's shared chillers when it's chilly. Niggas see my ex wallowing in pain. I feel like Gilly, nigga. Really, nigga. Spirit never wait. Touch a milli, nigga, on my bullshit. Beard lush like a Philly, nigga. I need a bitch to leave me. Told her, please believe me. Peace to the gods when the God is beating. All my dogs is eating better garden shit. Like the garden eating, got swift like a gun charge when you catch the meaning that you yo. I think you pussy shit stick together. All y'all eat a dick forever. I need a bitch be my bitch as long as we get together. When we get together, need better ops with live forever. Or enough with this oldest brother cook falling off the bone. I still made it home. I don't need you, bitch. You need you. I could make it on my own. I said, long little, yo. These niggas won't hold me back. These niggas can't hold me back. Long little king. These niggas can't hold me back. They got money, but we got love. They got missiles, but we got love. Cook phone with the bone. I still made it home. Yeah. My own savior. Be my own savior. Be my own savior. One of your best, yo. Girl, I'm talking no sassy issue to get the thing she don't have to get. Uncle Sam doing nasty licks, it's free at last, net last rich. On this stage, I do classic shit, cut your body in half for a magic trick. I shouldn't be alive with some magic shit. I'm carrying up the casket, bitch. Wearing all white looking golly, the nigga. The streets is asking for a body, my nigga. Just getting warm like Psyche, my nigga. I got the bounce like Baki, my nigga. Smoking my shit from the top of the mountain, right, nigga. Police, they got me surrounded. Save yourself, I'm my own savior. This sauce land, and I'm my own later. Bring your head like Charles Xavier. I don't fuck with bros, they got bad behavior. You a pop fan, big hater. What's the queen maker? To the king maker. Only kings make queens. I'm a king, baby, but you independent. Do your thing, baby. Black man, I love you and you are free. But I was a nigga from blood and leaves. Passport, bro, with a bitch overseas. Purpose is first and no bitch over me. Own your shit, cause you don't own me. Nah, brothers, bitch, nah, you owe me. What? Still know what the fuck I'm about. Lil Saint, the rain, Lil Wayne, and drought Jerome in the house. Fuck your couch. I know that's big, but the shit ain't round. Be my own savior. Be my own savior. I'll be my own savior. One of your best things. Man, yeah. Drawing the blank, man. I don't run my shit, but I do give us what's in the Space Jam. Don't run my shit, but I do give us what's in the Space Jam. What you feel? Yo. I met Drew go give scholarships out, smoking a cookie, the Oscar, the garage, bad one, loose my side, 500 million can swallow a prostrate, rah, like a dungeon dragon, lights the cat, nigga, pants are sagging, black G man, bitch, bitch with the wagon, cave and chest like Bin Laden, let your man be a man when it costs me the rent, fuck you, been nigga, me call when the rent, let they know you got the money I sent you, I cuss ass out on fucking potential, move by faith, right where I need it, man, worry about shit, I don't need you to believe me, baby, my lap like DDG, she get ahead of herself, she get a DDT. That's true. Trade a shade of building, don't bear fruit. Pay my money's worth, you ain't no baby that they got proof. Last one standing, last one y'all wanna feel my emotions. I don't kill my emotions, still got motion. I'm moving slow motion. Bags around me, feel like an ocean. No lyrics you quote me. The box is headed, feel like evoking. I feel my emotions. I know what I need, I'm not in the moment. I told him, bro, I got one life to live. When I'm at the 6 wives, then 1,000 the kids. She was from Virginia, but she moved to Jersey. Bitch plotting on me, she the new search. Covered in gold like the old Zerts, but I'm done with mercy. Bitch, have mercy, never dawned on me. You want me to lose, makes more sense when we do what you do. One last thing, go fuck yourself. Don't step to these seasons, I accumulate wealth. Every rich nigga done being broke before. I'm close to boss, I got smoked before. I got D-boy now, so dope no more. But I bet that shit ain't coast to coast no more. I smack you up, I got it in with you niggas, yeah. Get it in with you niggas. Emotions, that's true. Trade a shade of building, don't bear fruit. Pay more money is worth, you ain't no big that they got proof. Last one standing, last one you wanna feel my emotions. Move slow motion, bags around me, feel like the ocean. Full lyrics you quoting, the box is headed, feel like evoking. I feel my emotions, I know what I need, I'm not in the moment. Think I'm the way in, drawing a blank man. Roll my shit, but I do give a motherfuckers what's in the Space Jam. Do give us what's in the Space Jam. What's good, y'all? What's good, man? We're gonna make sure to give y'all a lot of soundboard action during this little show of ours. You know what I'm saying? It's little thing. Little statuses. Yo, what? Anyway, if you want, you can call please. We'll give you a second. Anyway, I'll do that shit later. I'm sorry, I'm getting messages right now. Anyway, so let's get back into Cheyenne Bryant. So my thing is that, listen, it's several things going on at one time, but we can't keep letting women come online and just spin these narratives and just start just basically just telling stories, just saying whatever. And for the most part, like, this whole interview honestly reminds me of like this clip with Zoe Saldana, which I want to bring up in a second. But I'm gonna let this clip play with Cheyenne Bryant and Shannon Sharp. So Dr. Cheyenne Bryant was on Shannon's show recently as a guest, and she kind of does what she usually does, where she kind of assumes this like authoritative role that black men have this thing about. I don't know how to put it, but it's just like black men. It doesn't dawn on them. Now, I don't mean that Shannon's doing this because Shannon's running a show. My bad, y'all. I'm not saying that Shannon's doing this because he's running a show, but to a certain degree, this kind of exchange is common. And also, Angry Man made a really good point about the fact that a part of it, the reason why people let her get away with this shit is because she's an attractive woman. Now she's in good shape, because for the most part, like on the outside looking in, right? But she's also like a poster child, because she's a poster child for like, yo, how it looks when you have everything going on, everything going right on the outside, but on the inside, you know what I mean? And but she is the woman that she's kind of talking about, at least looks wise, right? Where, listen, she is older, right? She is in shape. She's using all the buzzwords. She's speaking the King's English. Okay, she's talking like she has it all together, but listen, if you read between the lines, you really see what's going on. And listen, and I'm gonna tell you something right now. When people start having these kind of inconsistencies, right? Because I'm not going to play that clip right now, but I was listening to Angry Man's whole account of this interview, and he played a clip where she talks about being proud of the fact that her dad used to be the biggest dope dealer, and I believe they're from Oakland, but basically, from California. Now, she said the point that she was getting to was that he basically started off in the street, and then he eventually became an entrepreneur. I'm like, God damn. So if your father was able to turn his life around, right? Why would you start with you were proud to be a dope dealer's daughter, or you were proud of your daddy selling dope? And she also talks about how her father used to have to go in the house first to make sure it's safe for them to go into the house. You know how crazy that sounds? So that's one part of it too. People will tell on themselves with what they think is cool and what they admire about people. And more, yo, I hate to say this shit, but yo, women, y'all keep showing that y'all don't like good men. Like, y'all don't think good men are good. All right? Because at the end of the day, there's no way to be a successful dope dealer or be in the street at all without hurting nobody, without doing nobody dirty. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like, you're a criminal. That the idea is that ain't no honor in this shit. But anyway, I'm gonna let her cook for a little bit. We're gonna get to it.
I've always, because she's caught a lot of criticism online, and I want to hear your expertise on what she's trying to say, Aisha Curry, because when she says that, man, I didn't really see myself as a wife. I was like, in this career, I'm gonna be this entrepreneur. I'm gonna be this. I don't think she's saying she don't want to be married. She's upset that she married Steph Curry and has this beautiful family. But what can you deduce from what she's trying to say?
If you love me, let me get your
back. Exactly what you said. Nothing more or less. I just heard her. I heard her being a woman with a voice, and it's kind of when you said, how come women can have preference but men can't, right? From your experience in the world. And I can see that. I don't believe that to be true for me, but I can see that perspective societally with the constructs. When a woman speaks out against the societal norms of a woman being domesticated or being a wife or being a mama, then she sounds ungrateful for having this wonderful husband who's providing and taking care of her, because that is most women's dream. Right? But there are other women like myself, right? And probably her too, from what she said, that their dreams are not limited to a position of a wife or a mother, and to just being this person's wife. And where I do understand her is that I told God early on in my years, I said, God, I would love to marry a man of affluence and a man who does well, but I don't want to be known as, let's just say, Shannon's wife.
And this is the great and this is at least listen. I'm sorry. I'll start again. Women are more likely to listen to someone like this over you, period. And CJ always talks about this. It's in terms of like where the women are mentally and like what's actually going on, like what's really happening, right? And this is such a mind fuck for men because on one hand, men will think that like, all right, damn, women make a really big deal out of whether or not you're going to marry them and fully commit to them and stuff like that, right? And at the same time, she's saying, I don't want to be known as just your wife. And no, I know what's crazy is women are so easily influenced, and it's crazy how it never dawns on them that you're repeating or maybe falling into this strategy or really a trap that one woman probably set for another woman. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Things may start a certain way, right? But they're gonna end somewhere else. I mean, I have theories that a lot of things that women do that you don't realize that's based off of some women that was trying to get the woman that she was in competition with out of the way. It always bugs me out how like it doesn't dawn on y'all, and it got to where like that, and it's crazy how thinking can change, right? And what I mean is this, like, if me and you, let's say two women are competing for the same man, what's he's more likely to probably go with the girl who's gonna give him what he wants. Don't it sound like some cold ass game? If I can convince you to not give the person, let's say again, we're going for the same person. If I can convince you to not give them what they want, meanwhile I'm ready to give them what they want. That's damn near like, yo, we both going for the same job, and I somehow convince you, nigga don't show up on time. Listen. If you do get a job there, you gotta come in there and let them know who's boss. All right. So listen. He is a manager in name only. You tell him that, nigga, I'm managing everything, including my own space, right? And my salary won't be dictated to me. I feel as though y'all owe me some more ends, bitch. Know how many years you owe me? You would think that's a terrible friend. But this whole, how can I say? This whole conversation about not just being someone's wife, nigga, this is like probably one of the most important things you're going to do. And that's why the fabric of society, this shit's just coming apart. We are just cooked. Because one of the most important things that has to be done in life is being someone's mother and being a wife. Because good people are made from good wives and husbands and good families for the most part. I mean, in terms of it happening the way it needs to happen. Like I always notice that Nigerians who ain't struggling and like there's a mother and father in the home, most of the time, they're pretty cool. I ain't gonna do no nut hugging or nothing like that. I'm just saying, but they mostly seem like pretty even kill people. And it made me understand how much of an impact that it has on a person having a mother and father in the house with them in terms of how you develop and who you become. You know what I mean? And also how you look at time. Because for the most part, what's going to happen is if you don't have your mother and father in the house at the same time, you're always going to be missing something. And it's going to make you, first of all, you're going to be missing development. And also you become the kind of person that loses time. And like when I was younger, I lost so much time when I was young. I mean, I made good use of my time. But I didn't know how to really make every moment count. Not how I am now, where like, yo, I feel weird if I don't get up here and do an episode. And I have to get to where I have to get there with my raps too. Where I feel weird if I don't record a rap. I've been saying for the last 2 years, yo, because I'm not gonna do it for a long time, but I really want to do that, like that battle rap project. Now I did a lot of them this year. While we know the whole thing, while like I battle rap the topic, I did a lot of them this year. I really did, and like. It's a matter of just getting into the space and getting into the space of battle rap. I realized, like, real talk, my microbiome gotta be extra clean, boy. I gotta be on it to write battle rap. Cause battle raps take mad brain power. But anyway, going back to the topic at hand, we need people. Well, we need women in particular to understand how important it is to be a wife. And it's like, yo, this way of thinking has infected so many women. Like I've had to hear this same conversation. I remember when I first got with my ex and we went on this walk. And it wasn't until like after it was over I thought a lot about certain things, and I didn't really see, like the mini breakups were like always kind of happening, right? Or she was always kind of like, kind of like doing these soft breakups, right? I remember in particular, we went for a walk, and I forgot what spawned the conversation. It didn't really make any sense. It was just like it was like she was like, yeah, I don't. And mind you, I didn't do anything. It wasn't like I was making her do anything. It wasn't like I was taking anything from her. But she felt the need to tell me that she didn't want to feel like she was gonna be boxed in as just being my woman. And to a certain degree, it's like there's so many different things going on at one time. But at the same time, I don't know, man. It's like how do I phrase this? I remember hearing Crimson Cure say this shit, and I thought it was so heavy and so, how can I say, so dramatic. And he said, "Yo, women's purpose is men." And that's a harsh thing to say out loud, but for the most part, women live most of their life based off of either getting attention from men, getting provision from men, being around men, being near men, right? And I feel like we're in a society where, like, yo, we live so unnatural. It's like whatever is unnatural, whatever doesn't make sense, we just lean towards that shit. And not only that, like I said before, women are always aware that, yo, business and negotiation is always in session. Everything is room for negotiation. What she's also doing is representing women, I'm saying, and creating a case. Women are always creating a case. So that they can negotiate up. And also too, the whole not just being someone's wife and this and that, which is really just so insulting. Because it for the most part stops how can I say? It takes all the honor. It takes all the valor. It takes all the notoriety out of being married. And really, it also too. Listen, I would go as far as saying that's hoe talk, because you gotta think that, yo, for the most part, it has always been a flex, and it still is, for a woman to say my husband and say I'm married and I've been married for this long. It's always a flex. It will always be a flex. All right. It's only offensive to people or to women who never had none of that shit. Because again, now that we done been online and we're starting to really change how we look at things and change how we think. It's in terms of looking at things factually, looking at what are the actual facts, what's actually going on, right? Not how I feel about it or what I feel like is happening. Anyway, I'm gonna let a little more play.
I want to be known as, like, this is Shannon Sharp, and
Yeah, this is ugly.
Bryant hyphenated Sharp.
Oh, you gonna keep your land? Oh, so you will hyphenate the land?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've already built this thing.
Okay. I was just
And
checking.
this is his wife, and people go, "Oh, I know exactly who you
Yes.
are. You're the one that produced, or you're the doctor
Yes.
next to you." Or
Right.
if I introduce myself, "Oh, that's Shannon. He's
Yeah.
a Hall of Famer. Like,
Yeah.
you did your thing. We
Right.
love your show."
Right.
Power couple.
Okay.
Right? And so I see her saying that she wanted to have what he had the luxury of having. He has a wonderful career, and he has a wonderful family.
Family.
She has a wonderful family. How come she gets deemed for saying, "But I want to have the same equality as my husband"?
Right.
All I'm saying is, love being a mama and a
Right.
wife, because she's obviously doing a damn good job. At it.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes. Kids are great.
Which
But
I mean,
how come
obviously.
I can't also
Why
want?
can't I have both? He has both. Why can't I? Why I gotta be
And he
relegated
has
to?
both because she said it.
And this what I'm talking about with Shannon. Nigga, you are way too deep in the interview mode, and you don't know that you are conjuring up a whole storm that we're all going to have to suffer for. Shannon Sharp is going to have to be called to the front for his sins at some point. I'm just saying, where are my sounds? What are my sounds?
I snapped my fingers. You'll forget that you ever gave.
You think I have somebody I love in the bricks?
I ain't going to do like that, Shannon. All right? Everyone else may think you gay, but I don't know you well enough, so I don't feel that way, but everyone else think you gay. But anywho, what men hear, first of all, she completely ignored the nuance, right? The nuance is the history between Aisha Curry and Steph Curry, which is A few years ago, you have gone viral for saying that you feel weird or you feel uncomfortable or you feel unattractive because guys are not trying to jump in your DM, which I understand saying that to yourself or thinking that or maybe talking with a homegirl about it. You were on TV, well, not TV, but you were on the show with Jada Pinkett and the other one. Matter of fact, hold on. She was on a show. Oh, real quick. Grab some real quick. Jada Pinkett and Aisha Curry.
Jada Pinkett and Aisha Curry.
To have more compassion and more understanding.
Something that really bothers me and like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that like there are all these women like throwing themselves, but me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, it sounds weird, but like male attention. And so then, like, I begin to internalize it, and I'm like, is something wrong with me?
You're not looking.
What?
You're not
Like,
looking. You're not even. But I'm gonna tell you something else too. When your radar's turned off, because I've dealt with that for years too. Like, and I was young, like you.
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh my
not
God.
fair.
I mean,
because I don't want it, but it'd be
Yeah.
nice to know that, like, someone's looking.
But
That
when
can
your
get
radar's
dangerous.
turned off, right?
That
You're
can get
beautiful.
real
Don't
dangerous.
ever think for 1 minute that it ain't some men out there looking at you like I wish.
Well, hold on now. Hold on. All right, we're going too far. That was the clip right there. Now, what she was saying, it's not a heinous thing, but it's just a bad taste. It's not a thing you say in public. You guys are not having a private conversation. It wasn't a private conversation. That's on camera, right? And the reason why it's inflammatory is because of, black men and women have a really just fucked up relationship. And more men, especially black men in particular, because listen, I always say, if you are an FBA black man, you have slave DNA, and you may not realize that you have a hard time. If you inherited this information from your forefathers, and your forefathers were slaves and everything, and we have to realize that we have been trying to find our way in this country for a long time. We kind of did find our way for a long time, but what feminism did was, for the most part, empower women. I mean, it's mostly kind of sabotage like our families, because if it take a man and woman to come together and we just got two different agendas and she doesn't see anything wrong with not having the same agenda, or you basically, again, shout out to CGA, modern women, especially black women, for the most part, especially now, she's expecting you to be a beta, meaning that you supposed to kind of, for the most part, hold on a second, man. Anyway, you're supposed to, for the most part, kind of, how can I say, adjust to her, which is nothing wrong with, like, learning people, understanding people, and nothing like that. Listen, I'm not, I'm not this big male chauvinist, okay? This big misogynist, right? I understand learning someone, right? But at the end of the day, women want you to lead. But what's always funny is that women always kind of convince you into becoming the kind of man that can't get no cheeks. And they kind of try to convince you to become the kind of man that can become a monetary resource, right? Because women will always try to encourage you to spend money on other women. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you should spend money, but it makes more sense to spend money in situations where the girl like you, or that you may be getting some chicks later on, rather than you're attracted to the girl, you want the girl and this and that, right? And rather than being direct about it, or rather than kind of seeing if it's any attraction there, you're hoping you can backdoor your way. But I'm gonna play a little more of this drawing right here. That we're gonna go ahead and play this Zoe Saldana thing, and we're gonna kind of get into what kind of lives these women are actually living.
Home and allowed him to build one.
Right.
And she built the other that she is allowing him to also take credit for.
Right.
Because we know he's been on the road. Not that he ain't been a great father, because I love Steph Curry. But what she's saying is, I should be able to, now that my kids they're of age, the kids look kind of grown to me, go create what I want. And she did try. She started doing magazines in the past and covers.
Here's one more thing too. I think that black men are starting to catch on to with in terms of our relationships, and also women. Let me tell you something too. Your woman can be your biggest hater, because what this is also about is women be supporting other women being haters because at the end of the day, trying to compare and not, it's a few different things. For one, your lack of respect for black men. Because let me tell you something right now. If Steph Curry was white, right, and also that famous, also that highly esteemed in his field, Steph Curry is one of the top players in the NBA, and for some people, he's considered to be one of the best of all time. For some people, right? So that means he's exceptional. To be exceptional at anything that exists on a world stage like the NBA, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's not an easy feat, okay? So he got there because of his hard work. He got there by being exceptional. And when I say this whole hate thing, right, and this thing, like again, if he was a white guy, I feel like it would be more easy for her in particular to understand how awesome her position is. Because listen, black women will be with white guys who ain't got shit, and they won't be feeling like, I didn't know if I wanted to be a mother or not. I didn't know if I wanted to be with him or not. Because at the end of the day, also, I think that white women will do the same thing, but for black women, I feel like it's about something different, and again, and it's about the lack of respect you have for that person. When someone doesn't respect you, it doesn't really make sense to them why you have good things. And that's also how a narcissist thinks. A narcissist does not feel as though that people should enjoy the same things they enjoy, or people don't deserve to have, I don't say don't deserve to have a good life, but it doesn't make sense to them to do nice things to people. Or it doesn't make sense to just be a good person. They don't see the point in doing things unless they see a direct benefit. You understand me? Hold on, y'all. Let me pause this real quick. Get that Wi-Fi together, baby. Here we go again. We back, man. Keep chopping these tables, so. Like I was saying before, like we just not gonna take it no more. We're not gonna be allowing these milfs to get up here. She's not a milf. She mug like a cougar. We're not gonna be allowing these cougars and pumas to get it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call her a puma. Like, I feel like she's in a different league because she be lying too much. Ooh, it's a cat scheme. I'm still battle rap at my core. But I'm just saying though, like, don't get me wrong. This is all cool when you're not on a big platform, but when you're doing a big transmission like this, you need a hero like me to come along and just put a monkey wrench in the plans. Don't listen to this broad right here, okay? Because this is really all grift. Because nothing is consistent about this person, including her sexuality. Like I said before, this woman has been in a relationship with women and men. Because she tells stories about men, but you're out here doing some Lily Lint looking, as CJ Milton would say. I hear you out there munching. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, are you a munch? I'm just saying, man. Turn my nigga up, man. You're not real. You're not keeping it real. Hey. But in this clip right here, right? So what she's saying is that, and again, she watch how she talks about Ayesha Curry like she's her client. That's another thing too. That's a good analogy. Women be treating other women as if they are every other woman's lawyer. And they will defend. You ever notice how women will defend a woman that they do not know, and they will make a case for that woman? Women are always making cases and always defend, even if they don't know one another, right? But if it's the case it's going to affect them all, they will make a case for that shit. I know I'm trying to do some law, like metaphors. Just roll with it, man. Listen, come on.
Because I always respected your hairline on television.
You know what I'm saying? Let's come on, relax. Come on.
Getting it? It's not talking to you.
Huh?
It's not talking to you that I'm standing on business, is it? You're not getting it.
So she was just peep how she's talking about Ayesha Curry like her client. And your lawyer will always try to paint you in the best light. Like I said before, more than likely, especially if you're a black dude, there's a hater in your bedroom. I gotta get a breath. Please don't make me wait. Listen, it's a hater in your bedroom. A lot of y'all be sleeping next to a hater. And women also, too, like to find ways to avoid doing work. Like most dudes, if you do a job and you're doing the same job as like a woman, unless it's like some shit like with a computer or something with talking, you will pick up on, she tries to find ways to physically not do things. Like I had a conversation earlier with my homeboy. He does security. He shares that job with another woman, right? And he'll be talking about how like she'll do a bullshit job with basically doing her tour where she like walks around the facility and check everything out, right? He was getting into that. And in general, women find ways to again manipulate things without using force, without actually doing anything, right? And one of the ways they do that, right, is again is not taking accountability and creating a way for other women to not take accountability, right? And another thing is women's idea of success, because at the end of the day, even if a woman is successful or not successful, she still wants a successful man, and she won't consider herself as successful really unless she has a man she deems as valuable or successful or whatever the such, right? This logic only works if you're the kind of man who really believes in happy wife, happy life, and that, all right, if I center my happiness on her, we'll all be good. And really, it's really some bullying. That's some emotional bullying. Because a lot of men, well, they really think in their mind, their relationship is good if she happy. I want you to really think about that. If you a man watching me right now, what is your idea of a good relationship? And you may have an ideal of it, right? But for the most part, what you get, your idea of the relationship going good is if she's happy. Because for the most part, when women aren't happy, what they do is make your life a living hell. They find some way to torment you, whether it's being annoying, whether it's starting a fight with you, whether it's, pulling back from you. They listen, women are always trying to find ways to get you to react because a hug and a kiss is cool. But when they see it, they got you engaged and everything, that's like busting a nut for them. You understand? So anyway, we not buying into the whole boss chick thing, but we are going to acknowledge the fact that Aisha Curry is not like no like broke bitch. Aisha Curry is worth $50 million. Aisha Curry has done pretty well with the things she's tried to do. Like I think she has some cookbooks. She's been on TV and stuff like that. So she's done pretty well for herself. So this whole conversation, because honestly, real talk, I think a part of it is like, we have created this world where women now have an insatiable desire for everything, right? And a part of that is leaning too much into thinking that how you think and how you feel is always right. Oh, this is this very disturbing clip from Zoe Saldana that I always think about, right? And what it really kind of says is that on the outside, when you first hear it, it sounds like someone being very confident and being a human being, very confident and trial and error and they sound like they're a person of great, tremendous faith. But as an older guy listening to this, as a guy who thinks more factually listening to this, I hear something a little bit different. Hold on, make sure my mic is on the right mic. Hold on, make sure we good. Okay. Everything Gucci. Hold on, we go with the mic. All right, cool. Yeah, so on the outside, it sounds like she like really cooking, right? I'm gonna play it for you, but what it really is like she's kind of doing. How can I say? It's like a certain mode that modern women are in, and I feel like it really encapsulates like how the modern woman who sees herself as like sophisticated and as smart, as intelligent, and she went to school for whatever degree, probably in basket weaving, right? And what she's basically saying is that, it doesn't matter if I fuck up. Doesn't matter if I fuck up relationships. Basically, you don't hear her saying, I want to learn from my mistakes and be better. She's basically kind of saying, I accept myself as I am. And you should too.
I know who I am. I love who I am. I like what I do. And I like how I do it. And I like my mistakes. And I like the way I learn. And I like the pace.
Actually, not fuck that. We need to actually see her face. And I want you to see how the women look when she starts talking this shit. Hold on, y'all.
That's my biggest achievement in life. I know who I am. I love who I am. I like what I do. And I like how I do it. And I like my mistakes. And I like the way I learn. And I like the pace with which I learn my mistakes. I don't want to be anybody else but me. And by knowing this, I want to continue figuring out who the I am. That's it.
And one thing you won't never hear modern women talk about is I want to be a really great woman. I want to be a really great person, or things that are to the effect of I want people to know me for being great at what I do, or being great. For the most part, you always hear modern women saying, "I want you to accept me as I am." All right, I don't want to have to actually compete. Because people who say shit like, I don't want to be anyone else, I want to be me, and what, that speaks to, that's insecurity. Like women that are going to have a really deep, I'm real talk, women think like loser men. This is how loser niggas be thinking. Like, a loser has a deep insecurity about who he is. That's why like niggas can hear like Kendrick's music. A nigga that can hear Kendrick's music and really feel like it's deep, or you're learning something that's profound. You're not actually a deep person. You're not actually a person who's done the work. Because if you've actually done the work, you be able to see through. This is a character you're playing. Like, I'm not saying that. Well, I know you'd be a terrible person, but like, you're not righteous like that. You're not a giving. There's no evidence that you're a giving person. And I always tell y'all niggas, keep it a stack with you. Yo, you cannot be friends with niggas that's too broke. You cannot be friends with niggas that's too short. All right, and you cannot. If you a nigga that got motion, it's really hard to be friends with someone who has no motion. Or if you a real jiggy nigga where people like you a lot and whatnot and people gravitate towards you, it's hard to be friends with someone who doesn't have that about them. If you're a really positive person, it's hard to deal with someone who's like emotionally unstable and they just go through times and periods where they're a different person, like literally a different person, and they lose time. Like, real talk, not having a mother and father in the house, that you learn no emotional regulation and you become the kind of person who cannot solve any of your problems. A lot of people don't realize a lot of your stress comes from your inability, you know what I'm saying, to problem solve, and how you deal with coming to a solution. All right, and how you deal with that. A lot of people, for the most part, the lower the station that person has in life, the more likely they are to do, as they say, crash out. Because in their mind, they are so stressed out by the problem that all they can do is kind of throw a tantrum. All they can do is kind of huff and puff. All they can do is catch an attitude and really get angry. And then the anger comes from the frustration they feel from not being able to solve their own problem. But what's stopping them from solving their problem, it is the emotional instability. It's because, you can't stop taking shit personal. No, because you can't actually focus. A high vibrational behavior is to focus on things that are important and be able to focus on things that are important. If you ever find yourself being distracted by things that don't matter, or find yourself getting mad about the same thing over and over and over again, usually that is a sign that you were in a lower vibration. Me myself personally, I have been struggling to get out of a lower vibration for the last couple of years. Now, mind you, I vibrate way higher than most people and whatnot, but I know I can vibrate higher. I know I can take it a step further, right? But over here on Six Paths TV, when we get over here and talk this shit, we talk about the actual game plan, the actual action plan. Even for myself, right? I want to get to doing 100 YouTube remixes a week, all right? I want to get to where I'm posting at least 10 or 20 of those on my TikTok, on my Instagram. I want to get to where, like, I'm at least posting the links to all my videos on Twitter, you know what I mean? And posting, a few links on Threads and taking advantage of all my social media. Because I get that, if I'm too ambitious, I'm not going to do anything. But if I make it simple for myself, all right, boom. Just accomplish doing 5 YouTube shorts with custom thumbnails. Just try to make sure you upload 10 times this week. At least 10. You know what I'm saying? Because, I usually record about 4 or 5 times. It's usually at least 10 videos in that, if not more. You understand? So anyway, but I mention these things because there's a whole timeline to it, right? But bigger than that, let's go ahead and look at what's actually going on. Listen, my heart goes out to this lady. I feel so bad for this lady, man. So this lady is she's one of many people, right, who probably bought a property during the pandemic, and she had the intention of using this property to create generational wealth, right? She probably took a course on how to buy. I'm not sure why you need a course for buying Airbnb or buying a house to Airbnb. It's just buying a house and you put it on Airbnb. But a lot of people bought courses. So someone probably sold her this business and said, listen, you're going to be able to make this passive income. All you got to do is get this property and you can Airbnb this property, right? Now, mind you, this is not in 2019. It's not 2020, right? This is like recently. This recently happened. So by this point, I remember years ago, back in 2021, terrible story. This woman was basically recording herself in her own house with this woman who wouldn't leave her house because she let the woman stay there for a certain amount of days, and she was able to pay for a certain amount of days, right? And then once that 30 days was up, I think it was 30 days, she was able, under the laws of that state, to become a tenant and have tenancy rights, right? Now, mind you, I think that's only in certain states. In New Jersey, that is not the case. In New Jersey, your building can take you to court for 1 month of rent. And if you do not have that money, all right, they will put you on track to an eviction right away. Straight away. And which, I mean, I think it's kind of messy. Because at the end of the day, if you don't put caps on that kind of thing, or at least work with the tenant a little bit, what's going to happen is more people going to just lose their place. Like, again, like, you kind of need, I'm just saying, it's what it is. Like, yo, this is a thing that's always been going on. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't pay their rent, nothing like that. I'm just saying, for people, I've been thinking about, like, yo, I make pretty good money, man. I've been thinking about, like, yo, what about people who don't make the kind of money I make? And again, I'm about $20,000 a year short for what I need to make. That would put me in more like 90,000. You feel me? But I always think about, like, what about people who don't make that, right? And the reality is this, man. And going back to the whole male-centered thing, women need men to survive. Women need men to thrive on a high level. Women, for the most part, and I always like to focus on this kind of women right here because, you know, it's going to the kind of women who would do this kind of shit where you would, rather than getting qualified for an apartment, you would backdoor your way into somebody's property and basically take over their property, right? And for the most part, steal housing from them and everything. So, in all actuality, most people are regular people. Most people don't have money. Most people are never going to do anything amazing in their lives. And when women see clips like the ones we just seen from Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, in their mind, what you're telling them is that, yo, this could be you. Like meaning that, yo, when you hear her say that Aisha Curry doesn't want to just be seen as Steph Curry's wife, as if Steph Curry, it's not Steph Curry. That's wild. Because at some point, we got so deep into the happy wife, happy life mindset to where it's become offensive to say, no, that guy is on a level where really any person who decides to get married to someone else should value that marriage above everything else, especially the woman, because for the most part, it's still a huge deal. Because the woman is always the most concerned about getting married, and again, business. And niggas don't understand this business. And another thing too is the way the women are talking about it and the way that Aisha's talking about it is business. Women also don't want to actually do the hard work. They want the accolades and everything good that comes from your hard work. Because she want the lifestyle, she want the money, she want the status and all that, right? But at the end of the day, yo, it's like The Walking Dead, right? Where I think it was like the second season, and they came to that facility and they met that scientist, and the scientist said, "No, we're all infected with this disease. So if any of us die, we're all gonna turn to zombies." And unfortunately for modern men, yo, they all have this. It's not exclusive to no group of women. They all have it. We all have it. We're all infected with it. All right. But I think I feel like modern men. Let's say feminism was like the disease from Walking Dead. The men have started to find a cure, and the men are starting to say, "Nah, nigga, no, absolutely not." Because another reason why this shit also causes problems is because a lot of men, especially black men, you don't realize that you don't think like a man. Or you don't go about things like a man. Like you think of things, you problem solve like a woman, meaning that your idea of fixing things or idea of what's going to be the best solution isn't about, it's not based on an action plan. It's you kind of wanting to feel better about something and you want things to work out. But anyway, let's play this clip real quick.
All of the responsibilities are on me, and I can't get into my property. There's a leak in the property. The water bill is escalating. I can't get in there to see what's going on.
A DC homeowner claiming an Airbnb guest has overstayed their welcome and will not leave. In this story, you'll only see on 7 News. We're digging into DC law, finding out there's not much that homeowner can do. Our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley spoke with the...
So the sheet you see is a sheet that is that is over a sign that they put up there. So the sign was addressing the squatter in the house, I believe. You can't read it because the lady actually put a goddamn bed sheet over the sign. The person who's squatting in the house right now, right? Like I said before, this woman is not a tenant. This woman literally, her plan was, I'm going to come into this space and I'm going to squat. Also, so I'm sorry, I meant to make a point about why would you let her book this long stay in 2025, knowing that, if this person is able to stay into the property after a certain amount of time to get tenancy rights, if you're, and that's what I'm talking about when it comes to how women maneuver in the world. Women, for the most part, when women have investments, because if she had a man there, that wouldn't have happened. Because if a man was there and they had their property together, he would have pointed out, hey, listen, we can't let her stay in the Airbnb for 30 days. If she stay, what if she don't leave? She probably seen that booking and seen all the money and whatnot and said, thank goodness gracious, I can pay these bills now. And all she had to do was say, hey, listen, we can do the 30 days, but you have to check out every 2 weeks, okay? Which means that I'm going to change the code. And if you want to leave your stuff in there, it's going to be in there. But I'm going to change the code or whatever it is, however you have it, and they won't be able to get back in unless they know the code. You know what I'm saying? Or for one, they shouldn't have enough stuff in there with them to where they can't walk out the door with their bags and walk back in. If they plan on staying for the whole 30 days. That's all they doing. You take all your stuff out, check out, and then come back in. All right, or y'all clean or whatever. This lady moved into this place. All right, I'm gonna let a little bit more play real quick, and then we're gonna get to the next thing.
Homeowner and tried to speak with the alleged squatter.
The alleged squatter originally got into the home through Airbnb, claiming that her apartment caught fire and it needed time to get repairs. Now that was back in February. Rochelle Douglas says she didn't know she was opening her life up to a nightmare when she accepted Shadija Romero's Airbnb reservation almost 10 months ago.
Here we go, right there. You see the money? Follow the money, baby.
Her life up to a nightmare when she accepted Shadija Romero's Airbnb.
So she saw that $2,400 and said, all right, thank goodness gracious, this shit finna cash flow. And she could have avoided all this stuff by just, you thinking ahead. And what's crazy is, too, they're supposed to be the most educated. They supposed to all be boss. I'm just saying. No, but real talk, though, these are the kind of things that women really be up to. And it is what it is. Because women are going to do whatever they have to do to survive. Like, a woman is very likely to do this kind of thing. Understand? Because at the end of the day, like, they don't have as much resources. They don't have, they don't have as many options. I wanted to fast forward to the interview with the squatter.
I sat down with an emotional Shadija Romero inside Rochelle Douglas's home. Did you both
So you can see now this woman is in no man's land. She's at least in her late 40s or early 50s and whatnot, and she did not make the proper arrangements and proper plans for life. Okay, because who knows if her apartment, if she even had an apartment. Okay, so the utilities were cut off at one point. She actually put the utilities back on her daughter's name, which is that's the most ghetto shit I have heard in a long time. Hold on, man. Where's the bricks at? Come on.
You think I have somebody I love in the bricks?
Airbnb with the intention of staying?
No, I did not book the Airbnb with the intent of staying.
So why are you still here?
Because after.
This is as direct as women are going to get with each other. She said, so why are you still here?
The repairs were done, the place still smelled like fire, and there was water damage. So the water damage was more substantial than the fire damage.
You didn't go back to your apartment because it still smelled like smoke.
And water damage.
And water damage. What makes you choose to stay here instead when the homeowner has made clear she doesn't want you here, doesn't want to be a landlord? There's now no utilities on, there's wood boarded up, there's a sign outside saying she doesn't want you here. What's making you choose to stay?
So no, that didn't start until literally this month.
What did it start?
The sign on the building or the utility, that wasn't something that happened prior to this point.
Hold on now. Hold on now. Here we go. Yeah, I see. Do you see the table? So that right there was the sign, and it said unwanted occupant is in the house, right? But look at the table. She is running one of these and again, this be women's ideas of entrepreneurship. Whatever she's doing, she is so bad at making money that she is squatting in someone's property right now, living there rent free. And doing it with a straight face and self-righteous attitude. We're gonna watch a little bit more. Listen, anytime you see candles and oils and shit like that, that is a sign of a struggling entrepreneur. She bought all that shit to this person's house. Who brings all this shit for an Airbnb? You supposed to be bringing a few changes of clothes. Yo, she bought her whole life there, bro.
Utility, that wasn't something that happened.
They did some B-roll.
Prior to this point, prior to this month. So if that had happened months ago and that was something that I've been dealing with for months, I would leave. So now, with all of this going on, I am going to leave.
Romero says she is still going to have the Douglases go through the full court process to get her out because of what she says they have put her through and for labeling her as a squatter.
Squatter is someone who has illegally entered the property without your notice and you never had an agreement with them.
It's also not just if the home's vacant, it's if you're there without the owner's permission and you're not leaving.
Yes, if you had maybe that other part is there.
Coming up at 6, more from Shadija and why she says she is a tenant, although there is not a lease that exists between the two. I also spoke with an attorney for both tenants and...
I'm going to cut that right there. Listen, that's what's really going on with y'all. All right? And it's not even to be funny. It's just that, like, listen, this is some serious shit. I be telling my sister all the time, like, yo, you have all the tools in the world to actually be able to put together a family and make a man love you and want you around, okay? You have everything you need. And in order for you to have a good life and whatnot, you need resources, and you do not want to try to go through life off of your income. Okay, get with a man. Listen, go make your money. Do what you got to do. A lot of this shit, as far as this whole want to be your own person and stuff like that, it's really some narcissistic shit. And a lot of it, again, a lot of y'all problems in life, I keep telling y'all, is based off of the bitch in you, right? And not growing the fuck up. One way or the other, either you being a bitch, one way or the other, whether you being a coward, whether you got a nasty ass attitude, whether you are being obtuse about some shit, all right? Also growing the fuck up. Maturity is understanding. Maturity is coming to the most reasonable solution possible, the most peaceful solution possible, and the most beneficial solution possible for all involved parties. That's maturity. You know what I'm saying? Being able to think ahead, that's maturity. All right, being able to say, you know what, it's time for me to make this adjustment. That's maturity, aka grow the fuck up. That conversation is unreal. The young lady came with the facts and she said the homeowner has made it clear that they don't want you here and you need to leave. You're not a tenant. And she didn't give any facts. I'm sorry, the lady with the shortcut, the squatter, she didn't give any proof, no documentation, any of that shit. And more than likely, she's probably lost the other apartment. Right? Because if you think about the 2,400, that sounds like the amount of money that somebody would have if they were looking for an apartment. And that's how people will get into these bookings, because they may have those 2 racks on them at one time. Right? And they have enough to get themselves into someone's property and stay there for the entire month. And then boom, they can now assume, and I didn't know this is still going on. In New Jersey, they will get you the fuck up out here, my boy. You feel me? But anyway, so that's that. So I'm gonna get to this game shit real quick. Alright, man, let's get it. So the game is coming under fire, all right, after his recent comments on the Shannon Sharpe show. Okay, so the game was on the Shannon Sharpe show, and at some point Shannon Sharpe asked him, you know, what's your stand and how do you see yourself, right? And I'm like, you know, I realized you Kendrick fans and you niggas online, because for the most part, this whole thing is all about hating on Drake. And for the most part, American people, the American way is to hate on someone who has more than you, hate on someone who's able to do things that you can't do, and especially if they're a black dude. All right, if they're a black guy of any kind. Okay, because hating, don't get me wrong, anyone could be a hater, but listen, but no one is hating on more than any guy that is the least bit black. You understand me? So over the last year, somehow, some way, I don't know where this came from, because I've never heard this shit before. I've never heard Kendrick be so revered as this god tier MC. My nigga, let me tell you something. I keep telling my homeboy this shit, and like I've even heard my brother talking about this nigga. And I'm going to keep it a stack. If you really like that in terms of being a righteous nigga, if you really like that in terms of being the kind of nigga that other niggas respect and deem to be honorable, because like I see myself as an honorable dude that gets respect because I've always gotten respect. I feel that way based off of how people respond to me and my reputation. It's not me freestyling. It's not, the shit's not random. You understand me? Whereas if you haven't gotten there yet, songs like "Man in the Garden" or just everything he was doing on G and X, just that whole album sound like he just jerking off. The album sound like it's about doing an impression of a real nigga, doing the impression of a good guy, doing the impression of someone who does live righteous. You know what I mean? And I'm just sorry, I just see him to be he's a fucking fraud. But bigger than that, what I thought was crazy is the fact that this is the game. You fucking dweebs think that the game is supposed to kiss Kendrick's. Nigga, the game is an OG. That's one. The game is Kendrick's OG, right? The game has been here for a super long time, and the game is still a supremely talented MC. Now, I think the game's issue musically was, he just didn't have record. He just didn't have the records. You know what I mean? And the game kind of like he's in the same boat as like a Joe Budden, where very good rapper, but they got caught up in the shift in hip hop where you had to update. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's like Dragon Ball Z. All right, the further along we get in Dragon Ball Z, and really like most animes, but with Dragon Ball Z in particular, the power scaling keeps going up. All right, and depending on the older artist is, the more it's like a Dragon Ball character. And we're in Dragon Ball Super, and that Dragon Ball character, no matter how ill they are in Dragon Ball, they will not be ill in Dragon Ball Super. No matter how ill you was in the Saiyan Saga, you're not, like, for example, like the Krillin from the Saiyan Saga and the Krillin in the Majin Buu Saga is worlds apart because of time, experience, and leveling up. So, and even with that being said, Game is still super dope, but at the same time, he got caught up in like again, like let's say we all Saiyans, nigga never went Super Saiyan. You know what I'm saying? So meaning that he couldn't go to the next level. Same thing with Joe Button, where like Joe still had good songs. Like the songs were good. They just wasn't that. And it was mostly because they weren't able to elevate to the next level on the power scale. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip real quick. I wanted to play this real quick. Then we're gonna talk a little more about it.
Game was dissing Kendrick on his new album. The Game came out with a statement addressing it. He said, wait, you guys are reaching. But then he goes on to get very defensive, which had me a little bit suspicious. If you're trying to clear up rumors that you're not dissing somebody on your...
So he said, y'all reaching. If I got a problem with a nigga, you ain't gonna need to guess. Secondly, y'all weird ass Me Too fans ride anyone nuts the internet tell y'all to. And ain't a rapper in this soft ass industry who wants smoke. They know, and any fan who know my body of work know. Merry Christmas, ho 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 ass niggas. That's kind of funny. All right, there we go. All right.
Records, why are you then trying to send a message like you really want smoke? The Game also said in his response, it ain't a rapper in this soft ass industry who wants smoke. Now, today, The Game did an interview with Shannon Sharp. That's right, you guys. The Game sat down and he lied once again. Shannon Sharp asked him, hey buddy, do you think you're the best rapper in Compton? Game confidently says yes. As a matter of fact, I'm the best rapper on the West Coast. Here's what he said.
You still the best rapper from Compton? I'm definitely the best rapper from Compton.
Definitely?
Definitely.
Who's the best rapper on the West Coast today?
Game.
Damn, that was quick.
Yeah, it ain't. Yeah, that's it.
Ain't nobody getting at you?
Can't nobody out-rap me, man. And anybody that knows will know. Because people can't, even if you are, like, no one can do what I can do. Like, no one has my skill set. Because not only do I have the ability to wrap circles around people, I'm also with all the bullshit, too, if it came down to that. So it's like, I'm the best rapper. And it's
So all right. So if you guys don't know, the Game is known for getting in fights, being extremely physical. All right. So the Game has never shied away from any beef, pause, any kind of drama. All right. He is a Los Angeles blood. All right, by heritage, you understand. So I'm trying to understand why would y'all think that he supposed to kiss Kendrick ass? This ain't 2024. It's 2025. Okay, he got an album out. He has an album out right now. This really shouldn't be news. Cause I'm like, what's he supposed to say? Nah, man, yo, I go to Kendrick and his weird ass. No, nigga, like he got an album out. 2, hip hop is competitive. What was funny about this whole thing was that niggas trying to make it seem like it went between Kendrick is here to right the wrongs. Kendrick is here to save the industry and bring all this authenticity. Cause y'all always feel like niggas who can't make good music or make enjoyable music or music that the bitches like, somehow they just realer than everyone else. No, nigga, your character is like you're realer than everyone else. You're not realer than everyone else. Just like people had that thing with Nas, but it wasn't based off of things you saw Nas do. It was based off of Nas's character. Whereas, again, niggas had to come out of the mindset of, if you have money, you're a bad person. If you have money, I should hate on you. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. All right. Sorry about that. I'm making food. We're gonna play a little bit more, but I'm just saying though, like, yo, these are two artists. Like I said before, I'm sorry. I think the other point I was making was that it's about niggas' characters, and the thing is that black people have this thing of always championing or uplifting all the wrong people and all the wrong things. Because for the most part, conscious rap, I feel like conscious rap is this thing. It's like a loser space in hip hop. Because even when I was younger, like the niggas who was considered conscious, they all dressed bad. You know, they had whack beats. You know what I mean? They had bad aesthetics. The video wasn't popping. They didn't have pretty girls in the video, and somehow that's real to y'all. But what that was honestly, we have seen such a shift in terms of what we know we can accomplish and what we can have in terms of lifestyle, like you know, having nice things in general. So, and it kind of represents, like, for example, when Jay was becoming hot and Jay was rapping about that lavish lifestyle, those kind of raps came from Puff and Hove. Okay, like that luxury rap, that rap about being a baller and whatnot, like, dropping name brands. These things were always going on, but that became Jay Styles. That yo, I'm a baller, who will also, if I need to, if it came to it, I'ma sell crack. You know what I mean? You know, shit like that. You get it's a little bit late. I've been up since 6:30, 11:30 right now. So your boy a little tired. But I'm just saying, y'all niggas are out y'all minds. And for the most part, game, me and the Light Skin Association have decided. We have decided, my nigga, we gonna do. Oh shit.
They never had my back.
Jaguar talking to you.
They never had
Jaguar talking to you right now. Game, you better hit this nigga with mad disses. If the game don't bomb on Kendrick Lamar right now, nigga, you not real. You not real. Matter of fact, hold on, nigga. We playing this for you. Hey. Sipping coffee at nighttime. You not real. If you do, but like real talk though, I think it'll be healthy, but I think it was gonna prove a point about it. First of all, Kendrick Lamar ain't gonna say shit to the game, period. For several reasons. One, he's not being compensated for it. He's not gonna be given perks like going to the Super Bowl or getting mad Grammys for an album you put out the other day. Them niggas, I'm like, fam. Anyway, nasty work, King. Hold on, put my time on. I'm making this burrito, yo. And I just keep on forgetting that this shit is on the stove. But anywho. But that shit just still baffles me of like, why do I feel like he's not supposed to talk his shit? That's another thing too, for you young men out there. Don't ever let someone talk you into not talking your shit. They try to trick you out your spot. I think to a certain degree, I feel like he was thinking like, nigga, I'm the game. Are you fucking serious right now? Who the fuck you talking to? Nigga, what? And actually, the truth is, no, the game will outbar Kendrick. Listen, if the game go at, let me tell you something. If the game go at Kendrick, he's going to body this nigga because he's more direct. He has the delivery. He has the grit. Honestly, no, and even going back to the skill set, right? He's correct about the skill set because the game is able to he's one of them niggas that can actually rap on just about anything, right? And kind of get into like any kind of pocket. I think the game he just didn't have, he's someone, the way his style is, especially guys from that era, the way their style is, they style don't come with hooks. Like say a Kevin Gates or an Offset. That's the kind of style that comes with like hooks where like, you know that artist is probably able to write their own hooks and they rap in a way where they flows and they verse feed right into the hook and everything because they understand song structure as we know it now. You know what I mean? And that's one of the ways that like Drake and T-Pain in the future changed the structure of rap songs and also the subject matter. And you can say Lil Wayne too, in terms of knowing what to say. It's certain things that you can't, not that you can't mention, but your verse has to always be very well-rounded for it to be a good, sonically pleasing verse. It has to be a well-rounded thing where you kind of touch on a little bit of education, you talk to the women, talk to the streets, talk to your ops. So you always address all these people, your ops, the streets, basically the community, the actual streets, the hood, and you talk in a way where the hook understand. You gotta talk to the bitches. You got talk to your grievances and talk to your ambitions. You know what I mean? And also speak on what's going on where you from, what's going on in your life. You need to report. So these are all things, all elements that make a rap verse sound good and sound complete, at least like content wise. You understand? So anyway, we're gonna play a little more of this, man.
Damn, game. I mean, the OG, man. There's some OGs, some heavyweights. I mean, Cube, Snoop.
I love Cube, but Cube can't out-rap me. I love Cube. And by the way, the reason that Cube can't out-rap me is because I use Cube's legacy to help me sharpen. Right. I use Snoop's legacy to help me sharpen myself. I use Dr. Dre, NWA. So it's like, those guys came before me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Kobe, right? You know Kobe watched Mike growing up.
For sure.
Not even speaking English. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking a guy's guy.
The wristband on his elbow.
Now, Mike, in Kobe's prime, Mike couldn't hold Kobe.
No.
But that's because he came before him and he done with it.
Right.
I'm not saying if I was in 1992 with Cube might be able to, go crazy.
Right.
But right now, like, nah, it's not a rapper on the West that's better than me.
Now, immediately after this clip was released, fans told Game fuck out of here, and they all started spamming Kendrick Lamar's name. Because of course, when you think about Compton, right now, a lot of people just think about Kendrick. Obviously, you have Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, but as far as the active rapper right now that's really holding it down for Compton, it's Kendrick. The fans spammed up Kendrick Lamar's name on every clip, so much so that it got the Game pissed off. The man said enough is enough. Let me finally address this. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I read this caption 1,000 times just to make sure I was actually seeing what I was reading. The Game is finally calling out Kendrick Lamar, you guys. He said, fans got a lot to say about who I can and can't out-rap, but the niggas y'all defending is quiet. Yikes. This man really wants Kendrick to respond to him. He really wants to go bar for bar with him. Now, there's so many things going through my head. First of all, why would you call him out after you claimed fans were reaching for saying that you were dissing him on your album? Second of all, why would you send him your album beforehand if you wanted smoke with him all along?
Connection to the source. We are all connected to the source. We are, and who made the project is in our group chat every day.
Yes.
Telling us what's going on. Telling us what happened.
Tell us behind the scenes.
So I'm trying to let you kill the narrative before it jumps out there that he's dead.
So this is a situation where, listen, you guys can see what it says in, within the caption and whatnot. I'm gonna go up here with it. Why's my thing acting weird? Anyway, nigga says fans got a lot to say about who I can't out rap, but the niggas y'all defending is quiet. EMNT out on all streaming platforms now. So listen, the Game is a student of 50 Cent, and I be forgetting that 50. Listen, the Game's one of the few niggas that went to war with 50 back in 50's prime. You know what I mean? And he's still here today for the most part. But like I said before, the Game's the kind of artist that really kind of need you to kind of like give him the record already kind of done, and he kind of add his verse to it. Because really, for the most part, that first album, the documentary, 50 always makes it a point to let y'all know that, a lot of those records were his records, but he gave them to the Game, and the Game put his verses on those records, like How We Do.
Well, that's what I said. Actually had.
Like I'm saying, like How We Do, Hate It or Love It, and I thought it was something else, right? But anywho, but you get the overall point. In hip hop, and again, this is the same thing that kept Nas from elevating, was the fact that people had such a low expectation of Nas that we didn't realize that's what it was. We kind of accepted whatever Nas wanted to give you, kind of accepted it. You didn't really feel like, well, it's Nas, so this has to be amazing. If Nas had something that was dope, you just enjoyed it and you was happy with it. You know what I mean? You didn't think too much about it. You was happy to get a Nas record because we still like how Nas rap. But a lot of things Nas say, even like the hook today shooting. When I was young, I felt like you were slave to a page in my rhyme book is not good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not really good. You know what I mean? In terms of like that being a fly rhyme. Like they shooting made you look. You a slave to a page in my rhyme book. Nah. Even in 2003, it's like that's kind of a slave to a page in my rhyme book. That's not fly. That's not fly. That's a Nas rhyme. And like Kendrick does those same kind of things where, again, it works for you, it's fine. But this is why Nas was never really a hit maker. It's why Nas wasn't really the kind of nigga that could get a whole team lit. Like Jay, off of his star power and doing features and all that, really got the whole label lit. Because Jay was on all their albums. He was on 2 or 3 tracks on every one album. And I mean, and it was also the centerpiece of the album. Whether it was Young Guns or Freeway or Kanye, they all got verses from Jay. A lot of them got 2. I think the Kanye had all not All Falls Down. I think Never Let You Down. But anywho, but we've adjusted the rules where y'all basically saying that Kendrick don't gotta speak for himself, and I think that shit, that shit sound is burning. Hold on, y'all. Anyway, so sorry about that. Trials and tribulations. But yeah, man. So I'm put a little more of this drum real quick.
They heard it before it even came out and all that type of shit. They didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. Well, look, I wasn't gonna tell them that. I know that was.
Well, you gotta diffuse it. We gotta put the fire out.
All right. Well, if that's the case, they sent it to Dot and Top and all them. Before they even dropped the project. But I felt like that was confidential. I didn't need to say that on fire.
Gotta put the fire out.
Did you not get a response back from him? Did he not give you a good feedback on your album? Now, it gets even more interesting, you guys. A fan commented and told Game, yo, you gotta holla at Kendrick first. Game responded back to the guy and deleted this. He said, I don't gotta holla at nobody I influenced. Now, is this delusion on...
Someone saying that the Game gotta holler at Kendrick for anything is fucking crazy. Y'all niggas are out of y'all mind. I mostly made this shit because of the light skin disrespect, and just for the light skin disrespect, the Game gotta make a whole mixtape dissing this nigga. Cause for the most part, yo, Kendrick done got dissed by several niggas after this whole thing, and has not been how can I say required to respond, right? And really, this has been really a weird era. And I'm glad that it's pretty much over, and for the most part, people are starting to kind of come back to their fucking senses and really grade this nigga on, how can I say, really grade him in a more, how can I say, I don't want to say an unbiased, what can I say, in a more objective way. Because for the most part, you may not realize it, but artists condition you to have certain expectations of them. So for me, Good Kid, Mad City condition me as a listener to meet him more than halfway with anything he does, because I'm like, all right, well, it's a concept, it's supposed to mean something, which is cool. It's kind of antiquated in a way, because at the end of the day, music, if you have noticed, has become better and better sounding. Certain things don't sound good, or if you want to give me the concept, the record still got to be jamming. The beat still got to be banging. You know what I'm saying? But yo, talking to the Game this way, given his history, given his pedigree, it's just fucking wild. And y'all really have taken this dick riding shit way too far. So to the point where you're disrespecting niggas that actually like really get busy, niggas that actually like respond to beef and will actually go back and forth with niggas. Like battling is the Game's thing. And I think that the Game also just saw a good opportunity, man. And listen, another thing too is that like, yo, that's what I mean also by black men do not understand the concept of being masculine. This is hip hop. This is based off of masculine energy. If someone asks you, yo, what's up with you, this rapper over here, competition wise, you're not supposed to kiss his ass, especially given his stature. What's he supposed to say? And also, Kendrick is not like that. That's again a part of his story that you want to believe. I really had someone in my comment section, or someone on Threads tell me that Kendrick, you came up battle rapping and never lost a battle. That is not written nowhere. That is not recorded. No, you have no proof of that shit. Nigga, I am battle rap. Nigga, I live battle rap. I've been battling since 2014, for fun, you feel me? I've been in the culture, I've been watching battle rap. No, that's not a thing. That's never come up. Also, Kendrick don't do interviews, so it ain't but so many interviews you can pull from where he would be saying this shit. That's some bullshit. Drake is one of the most battle-tested niggas in this era, because Drake actually respond to niggas and actually go at niggas. Despite the stature. And listen, if that's not hip-hop, I don't know what is. Yo, when you are winning like that, you don't gotta get no diss records. You don't gotta get no beefs. You don't gotta get no battles for what? He do this shit for the sport. But being a hater is just a part of black culture, yo. Cause we just hate on each other. I've been hearing this story with that when Mook told a story about when Drake was gonna battle him. Rather than give him the props for having a heart to want to get up there with a murder Mook, knowing that, yo, Mook probably gonna beat me. But he that confident in himself, and he loved the culture that much that, yo, he wanted to get in there with you. He was willing to get in the ring with you. Heart matters, bro. And what you see in the Game show y'all is like, nah, nigga, I'm not bowing down to this nigga. And don't get me wrong, it's something different if someone actually is your superior, it's your boss, your father, it's someone who's in charge, whatever. But when it comes to this shit right here where it's about competition, how y'all get to a point where you don't understand a man wanting to compete. Which also shows me that y'all are not using y'all brains when it comes to this whole thing. And y'all have not been using y'all brains when it comes to Kendrick in general. Y'all have gotten too caught up in his fantasy and the whole idea of him. And listen, some artists have a whole mystique and character. His character is poor righteous teacher. There's pretty much this whole idea of because I'm not, I have such an underwhelming presence, I must be a good guy because I don't really say too much on camera. I must be a real good guy. You know what I'm saying? Because I show up how I show up in the world. I must be a good guy. But anyway, I just want to talk about that real quick. I think you niggas is gay. The ones in the comment section, and I don't mean gay as like homosexual. I mean gay as in I don't know, nigga. You get
chill for what? Who is this nigga? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like,
subscribe to the channel, man.
I want to respect.